Hola, bom dia. This is Good Morning Portugal from Expats Portugal with me, Carl Munson. Good morning. How are you? Yes, hola, bom dia, alegria, todos, as we have been taught to correctly say with from Filomena Friday last Friday, of course. And I hope you're well wherever you are today. The comments pouring in, as you can see on the screen there. Seriously. Ask anything about Portugal. It is that day of the week. I can't believe it's Wednesday again already. Lots of people here, and I think ready to either ask or answer questions, or maybe a bit of both. I loved watching that intro video again this morning. There's so much in it. Thanks to Pete Wilton Davis, the unofficial ambassador of Castanheira de Pera, for that a beautiful production, and so much of beautiful Portugal, and especially Central Portugal in there. Lots of comments coming in, and of course, as many of you know, as Paul and Louise from the kitchen table in the East Midlands of the UK are saying, we're really looking forward to hearing about Louise's journey. We watched her pre-trip vlog yesterday. So she is, of course, Solo 50 Plus Expat Portugal, and that is her YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to. We'll say a few hellos, and then actually, no, what we'll do is we'll bring Louise on now, and she can hear the hellos from everybody. Good morning to you, Louise.
Hello,
how are you?
Bon dia.
Bon dia, alegria. How are you, and how's your part of Portugal this morning?
I'm good. It's very sunny and very warm. It's beautiful, beautiful sunrise this morning.
You were up for the sunrise, were you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was nearly up for the sunrise from the other end. Went to bed about 3:30. Just stayed up listening to music. Yeah, it was unbelievable. Celebrating yesterday, managed to get out and have a haircut. And so, talking of which, how are you doing? If you're in Portugal, how's your experience of de-confinement phase 1? Can you describe your situation in Portugal, Louise? Are you city person, country person? How's it looking where you are?
Oh, it's very rural. I've got a view of lots of agricultural land growing fruit, lots of fruit trees.
Ooh.
So yeah, it's very rural, but I've got a lovely view of the local farming area.
Superb. Yeah, me too. Looking out over the well-pruned vineyard, as I call it, which will, of course, be burgeoning into a fruit-bearing vine soon. And there's a solitary figure just walking among the vines. It's a really beautiful Portuguese scene this morning. Now, people have tuned in to hear about your journey back to the UK. Let's chat to a few of them now. And obviously, we want to know more about your YouTube channel as well. This was a lovely thing that I noticed yesterday as well, Doc. The tape has come off the bench. Off the park benches, and loads of shops are selling at the door. It's really encouraging. It's really good. I was so sad when I saw every bench in my town taped up. I just thought, come on, we don't need to do that. It was silly. But anyway, it's behind us now, which is great. Hola, bon dia from Hank in California, and I think the Doc and Hank are having a chat there. Any idea what the test positivity number and the R values are for Portugal right now? I don't know that, but the Doc probably will. Good morning from Faro from Leslie. Good morning, Leslie. Yeah, Doc's going to be looking that up, and he might be telling us a little bit about tomorrow night's wine club as well. He's a secretary, you know, of the Good Morning Portugal Wine Club. He might, and I think he's leading the tasting tomorrow, so he might tell us more about that as well. From Moscow this morning, Carolyn. Good morning to you, Carolyn. Julia McIntyre, bon dia. Suman is here as well. Suman Kadka. Hola, bon dia. Como você está? I'm so sorry. I'm used to saying tudo bem. I'm also learning Portuguese language a little bit, and you're doing very well. That's great, Suman. Well done. Keep it up. 10-day forecast looking stunning. Yeah, I see temperatures across Portugal into the 20s today, mainly. Faro just about getting there. And happy St. Patrick's Day. Thanks, Lee, for that. Have a great day out in the garden. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Slasher from Julia. Yes, I haven't got me. I thought you were reaching for a St. Patrick's Day bit of a memorabilia or something there, Louise, as we said that. I thought I should get, my green dealy boppers on or something. Getting my second shot tomorrow. Yeah, same here actually. And then in 2 weeks, I'm at full power. Says Hank there in California. Peggy here. Peggy's tuned in for you as well. Bon dia
Hey,
from
Peggy.
still sunny, still beautiful. Oh, Garv sounds lovely. Mike Campion in Maastricht. Is that right, Mike? Bon dia alegria from Katrina Seas. And from Oslo this morning to hear you as well, Louise. Bon dia from Oslo from Milda. And Gemini Bradshaw's here. Good morning, Gemini. Good morning, Donna as well, Donna Taylor. So lovely to have you all here. We're reopening a bunch of stuff here in California. It's like the world is starting to wake up again. We're almost there, yes. And yes, a customary Irish greeting on St. Patrick's Day from Peter Bleach. Top of the morning to you from Peter Bleach, nearly in Portugal as well. Bon dia from Ilya. Tercera from Donna. Good morning, Donna. Great to have you here. And look, a rare bird here, rare visitor. Abadia. Is that a new kind of greeting? A sort of a Central Portugal thing? Deep into Central Portugal. Carl McAdam. Abadia, we'll go with that. Lucas from Poland saying hello to all the world this morning. It's fantastic. Here to hear about Luise's journey back to the UK and back again to Portugal. Could do with a bench. Good morning. Actually found the right day. Must be a win for today. No, actually, Jacqueline, it's actually Monday you're listening to now. So just retune to come in on. Only kidding. Yes, you're absolutely right. Autocorrect with Donna. Ilya. I think we're there, Donna. We know what you mean. Bon dia alegria from Doreen. Top of the morning as well. From Hank to Pete. Jersey's here from the United States. Actually, exactly a year ago when I left Portugal after a short visit. I'm looking forward to visit this awesome country this summer. Yep, fingers crossed for that. Bon dia from Texas, from Tiffany. Nearly there, Louise. Jean Van de Beek in France. Bon dia. And up in Matosinhos near Porto, it's Joel, our Portuguese, a resident Portuguese. So, yes, epic journeys. It was inspiring to hear Docs. You had a similar kind of journey, but with a different kind of angle, of course. And you were, if I remember rightly, you came to Portugal, loved it, and you were going back to just resolve everything back in the UK, to finally burn your longboat, as it were, and make everything right to come back to Portugal. How did it go?
Well, I flew back on the 1st of January. I'm standing in Lisbon Airport giving my Happy New Year greetings and thinking, I'll be back in a few weeks. Oh, so funny. It's so hilarious to watch that. And I had a flight booked back for the end of February. That got cancelled. Then they rescheduled it. That got cancelled. Anyway, the last one on the 1st of March. So 3 cancelled flights. On the 1st of March, the last one. Sorry, my earrings are clanking against the. I can hear it. Sorry.
I get that all the time. Don't worry.
Yeah, and the last one that was cancelled, there was no alternative. And it's such a series of events, though. One of the things I'd gone back to was to sell my car. I lent it to a friend. Her dad was terminally ill, so it was really handy for her to use it. And anyway, I wasn't going to get back, so I sort of thought, oh God, I'm going to have to tell her that I'm not selling her the car now. I need the car to drive back. I mean, sadly, her dad passed away, but it meant that I could have my car. So hence I booked a ferry. Do you want me to just carry on with the actual
Absolutely, yeah. Because I mean, for people who aren't, for people who want to make a similar journey, they really want to know what you're up against, because there are so many variables in this already, right?
So yeah, so the ferries to Santander, is it the other one's Bilbao? But the ferries to Spain hadn't been. You couldn't book. There was a blank calendar for January and February. But they did start up in March. Yeah. So actually, this is all the Doc's fault, because Andy, I listened to Andy's journey and I thought, right, the ferries are back up. So, and he sort of seemed to have a little bit of trouble in France. So I thought, I'll book the ferry to Spain. 1, it's less driving because I'm on my own. And 2, wonky internet. Is that me? And 2, okay. And because of problems sort of Andy sort of faced in France, and also looking at the government information on the Spanish and the French website, Spain seemed a little bit more straightforward. So 5 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday morning, I set off, got to the ferry 7:15 to check in. Oh, you can't get on unless you're a Spanish resident or citizen.
Oh dear.
They're sending few people. They sent people back. You can't get on the ferry. So I was like, well, what my life? What's left of my life is in the back of the car. I've got nowhere to go. I'm getting on. And she said, well, we can put you on a ferry to France at 10 o'clock tonight, but it's at your own risk. If they send you back, you have to pay for the ferry back.
What?
So I said, well, I've got no choice. My life's in the back of my car and I've got nowhere to go. I need to get back home to Portugal. So yeah, so 10 o'clock at night. So bearing in mind, I planned for an 8-hour drive, and I had sort of looked at the route and everything and printed out maps just in case I lost data and stuff. So I just ended up in Cannes at 6 o'clock the following morning. This is 24 hours later. And but I don't know if you want to, I mean, if anyone's thinking of the journey, paperwork, all I just get your peppers. We want your peppers. You know, you have to have I've got them here so I could let people know. First, you have a declaration for leaving the UK.
Yeah.
Then for Spain, you had a sort of their version of a track and trace, which was a massive form. Then you have a sworn statement where you sort of say you've not sneezed or coughed in the last 6 months or something, you know, you're not ill. Then you have, and then for France, you have this certificate of travel. And one of the things before I went, I was a little bit apprehensive because everyone said to me, you can't go, you can't travel. Even the mechanic, I phoned up the mechanic to say, can you check over my car? I'm going on a long journey to Portugal. First thing he said was, you can't leave, you can't drive to Portugal, you know, but very clearly for France anyway, there's a list of compelling reasons. And one of them is return to your main residence.
Yes.
And France allow you, if you've got residency anywhere in the EU, then you're allowed to enter France with that residency.
To know, yeah.
So, but obviously then I had to get over the Spanish border, but yeah.
So you were very glad you'd taken care of all of that and you'd become a Portuguese resident.
Definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't have went without it. I mean, I knew you had to be a resident of Portugal to come back in, no matter how you got, whether you flew, you know. So yeah, I'm definitely but I tell you what, the golden ticket to everything. So I had all this paperwork, but oh no, they didn't look at it. You know, the ferry actually to what's it? Check you in on the ferry. They did. They really went through it. But the most important thing was the negative COVID test. That's what everybody wanted. That was your little golden ticket. That was.
Okay.
So that's the most important thing. Yeah.
And how easy was that to get organised?
I didn't do it. My daughter ordered it for me, and a courier just came to the door, and I had to spit in a thing. And then the courier took it away. So
really,
yeah. And then you just get emailed a certificate.
Who would have thought?
So
who would have thought?
I printed mine out, but I noticed a lot of people just at the kiosk just showing their phones, obviously showing a digital version. But I wanted everything printed out because I thought if I don't have data or something goes wrong,
yes,
I like papers.
Clearly, and you would think everyone else did, but Pete had the same experience as you. Never got asked for a single paper. Signed every one of them. Amazing, isn't it? And another of Pete's reflections on that lesson learned: never get a ferry. Eurotunnel all the way. How was your Eurotunnel journey, Pete? I mean, were you thinking about that as well, Luise, coming from the UK in the Eurotunnel?
Definitely not the Eurotunnel. I would have got a ferry. I mean, I'm telling you, it's Andy's fault. I just thought he had to go straight to Spain because I didn't want, you know, a bunch full of French police stopping me, and also a bit less driving because I'm on my own driving. Yes. So, but I mean, so that ferry cost me 331 quid, whereas I ended up going to France, which is just 97 quid.
It's so cheap, isn't it? I mean, that's a blessing, isn't it? Because you could say they really could have exploited the difficulties people had and hiked the prices up. I mean, that seems really reasonable.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Yay, it's my fault. Never heard that before, says the doctor. And yeah, while we're about it, He's got the Cavallo Negro wine with a beautiful ruby color and aroma of blackberries and raspberries. That's tomorrow's tasting, led by Andy and Leona. Full-bodied in the mouth with smooth tannins and a persistent finish. Not unlike Doc himself, really. Hi, Louise. The Spanish still don't. Apparently, are not allowed. That was what you said, was that you weren't basically going to be allowed through the Spanish way, right?
Not arriving by ferry. So arriving by ferry or air, they won't let you in. But crossing the border was totally uneventful. I didn't even realise. I thought I'd just gone through another toll, and then I thought those signs aren't in French; they're Spanish. And I'm in Spain.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Figure.
Really
Paul and Louise. Sorry, that really confuses me. I've got a twin brother called Paul. So I grew up hearing Paul and Louise all the time. And every time I hear that, it just gets confused. I think, where's my brother?
Oh, interesting. Okay. Gianni from Belgium, bon dia, alegria a todos. To all Irish people and all Portugal lovers, happy St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. Not going to be easy to get a Guinness in Portugal today, but who knows? They might be organising that down in on the south coast there. Any questions about Portugal? Louise is here talking about her journey, but also she is well versed in becoming a Portuguese citizen. Well, a Portuguese resident, we should say. Officially, citizenship takes a 5-year process. But I think you can speak with some authority, Louise, because your blog, Solo 50 Plus Expat Portugal, is a document and a documentary of your journey. Tell us a little bit more about that before we go back to your.
It's not very good though, because I completely missed out the bit. Somebody asked me, could you tell us a bit about getting the residency? I kind of like skipped past that, but the thing is, I did it in November.
Yeah.
So just before Brexit, so it's all different now. So it's all irrelevant. But yeah, the blog is. I mean, why I started it's to inspire other people that want to do the same, specifically people that are doing it on their own and that are over 50, because there's a lot of fear. I actually met a couple the other day who said that they want their mum to come over. She's 60, and she said, "Oh, but I'm single. It's not the same, and I'm older, and And there's also a lot of naysayers. I mean, some people think your life ends at 45, So so it's just to give that encouragement and inspiration, and hopefully we can all get together. There's a few people that we're wanting to get together as soon as we can.
It's working then. You are an inspiration to people who are traveling alone, who are migrating alone, and the upshot is that it's a community in its own right, that people are saying, we're in a similar situation. Let's meet up when the time comes. That's amazing.
Definitely. And it's a bit selfish as well, because it's for me as well, because I don't use Facebook. And obviously at the moment, normally, because I used to be going around on my own as a house sitter. Yeah. So I'm used to rocking up and living, like in a place for 3 weeks by myself. But it's fine, because there's meetups, there's what's it called, where you I can't think. Anyway, that where you book like little events and walking clubs. So it's really easy. But obviously with lockdown, all that's gone. And then because I don't use Facebook, you really are isolated. So it's been brilliant. I mean, I've had an invite to dinner by another expat couple, coming from the UK, and lovely people come onto my videos and comment. I see the same people commenting. When I go onto other people's videos and I'm commenting, I see the same people on their comments under my, it's a community that is so yes, for me as well, and it's my social media in a way.
Excellent. I mean, so it's working for you. That's really good, because it could have gone any way, really, couldn't it? But it sounds like it's worked well for you, and particularly, as you say, in lockdown times, with the added challenge, you're still making new friends and a living proof that it is possible to go to a foreign country after 45.
Yeah, or do anything,
Do anything.
Honestly, the naysayers you get.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if there's any naysayers this morning, say, "Oh, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be going to a foreign country after you're 45." We can help you with that this morning, or Louise can anyway. Another interesting thing you said there Is it possible to live without Facebook? Because some people are, I think, maybe fearing that in this day and age. You live without Facebook, Louise.
Yeah.
And is that everything okay?
Don't get me started. It drives me mad when people are running a service or a business and they don't have their own website, and the only way you can contact them is through Facebook. And it's like, I can't get hold of you because I'm not on Facebook. It's the internet is not Facebook.
Okay, well said.
Yeah.
All right. So anyone who's doing that, stop it. Okay. Cost of the ticket. Yeah, because Hank over in California is asking about ferry tickets. You said 330 quid, was it?
31, but that was with a cabin, because obviously you had to book. You couldn't just wander around the ferry. You had to either book a seat or a cabin. So 90 of that was for the cabin. So you could do it cheaper. But that's to Spain. I mean, to France, it's 90. It's under 100 quid either by ferry or, Eurostar.
So it seems to me actually people moving about are very rare at the moment. I mean, was the passage fully booked, or people just knocking about, wandering? Oh no, they weren't wandering about, as you say, but did it seem quite quiet?
Right. Do you know what? I've never ever been on a ferry except for just a little day trip from France, from Dover to Calais. So I don't know what to compare it to. I mean, looking at the cars in the queue, it was mostly sort of vans, and it looked more like tradie people, working people. There wasn't too many cars, so I don't know what normal. Yeah, I don't know what normal ferry loading would look like. And I just went straight to my cabin. I didn't see a soul. I was knackered.
Didn't hang about. Okay. Yep. Return to main residence. That's the thing. So what we can glean so far is the negative test is really important, and returning to your main residence are the main things to help you to ease your passage, as it were, back to Portugal. If anyone's thinking about this, although things have changed. I mean, you didn't imagine you'd be having such a long trip, did you? You went on the 1st of January, and it took until March to come back. What did you think? How long did you think that was going to take?
Oh, 3 weeks. I thought about 3 weeks. I thought, yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, and so you didn't have a problem with the Spanish border, Doc. Just drove straight through there by the sound of it. We didn't even get asked for the test, says Peter, except at the UK Eurotunnel. Amazing, isn't it? Boots the chemist for my COVID test. So that sounds all very easy as well, getting tests. And I think it's amazing what you said, how a courier comes and you spit in a bag or whatever, and they take it away and then send you the test. Who would have seen that 2 years ago? Incredible. It is because she is a woman traveling alone, says Maxine, which is another angle as well, of course, isn't it? Solo female traveling around and starting a new life as well. That's another angle I think that people might be interested as well. That's maybe what Maxine's getting at. Eurotunnel was 109, says Peter Bleach. So there you go, Hank, wanting to know about the travel costs. I think I mentioned my Spanish issue in my video. I think you did, Doc. Cavallo Negro, Cavallo, black horse. Is the wine there translated? Yeah. Carvalho. I don't know. You'll have to talk to Doc about that, Maxine. Ditto Louise, husband and brother, both called Paul. It gets even more confusing in their household. Amazing. I have had the privilege of meeting Louise, and she is an amazing woman with so much to give and sound advice, and has a great YouTube channel. There you go.
Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah. I was 50 plus solo expat until I met Leona as well. That's interesting. Thank you, Doc. It's best not end at 45. Oh, that's life. Okay. It means I only have a couple of months left. Interesting. Is Portuguese residency for Brits now a real issue post-Brexit? My wife and kids are Dutch, and I have permanent Dutch residency. You're going to be fine, Mike. But yeah, as Louise was alluding to earlier on, post-Brexit, the UK is a third country, treated as a third country, and therefore has to go the D7 route, or people who want to become residents in Portugal need to go the D7 route, just as an American might. Although I think, we are going to see some difference. I think there will be a slightly different process for Brits honouring the old tradition, but that will be governed by the EU, of course, rather than Portugal necessarily. Bon dia, hola, Louise from Olga. No one ever listens to their doctor. I suppose you go and you hear the opinion just to do that, possibly. The beautiful thing about that with your 50+ solo expats was that it helps with the fear some of the rest of us have, or the anxiety of trying it. It's like, look at those brave people did it, so can we. It is pretty amazing what you're doing, Luise, I think. Any other feedback from that you weren't expecting from people who watch your channel, or anything you've been surprised by becoming a YouTuber?
Yeah, I haven't got any trolls or anything yet. I mean, when I told my friend that I was starting a YouTube channel, he said, "Oh God, you can't." But people like troll you and give nasty comments. I mean, I wouldn't do. You know, that's people's first thoughts. And yeah, you just when I got my first thumbs down, I got my daughter said, "Oh yeah, you're a proper YouTuber now. You got a hater." I mean, it was just a thumbs down, but you know, but yeah. So I can't believe how lovely people are. Just lovely, really lovely, and I really feel like, I mean, they're doing me a favor, because I feel like they're there with me. I feel like I'm not on my own. I really, because I sort of say in my videos, I love having you here with me, and I really do. It's they're really, it's really lovely.
No, I get that, and you know, you have a great sort of intimate conversation with the viewers. It's really good. So if you're not subscribed, there it is on the screen there by Luise. Solo 50+ Expat Portugal is what you need to subscribe to add your nothing but love for you, and even more coming in from Tiffany. You're absolutely inspirational and very helpful on the Expats Portugal forums as well. So thank you for your work on there, Luise. Appreciate that too. Paul Richards, we did the Santander boat trip in 2018 in December. The crossing was so bad, we were told to stay in our cabins. I personally tried to get the duty free, and a French helicopter had to come. No, is that seriously? Is he having a laugh there? Or is that
He's having a laugh.
Oh, okay, all right. You rock, Luise.
Thank you, Peggy.
Lovely reviews coming in this morning. Kate Gimblett's here as well. Good morning, Kate. Bom dia a todos. Any suggestions for Portuguese news or culture radio stations? I'm told it's a good way to immerse oneself in the correct sounds of the language. I would agree with that. How is this is the question you've probably been dreading. How's your Portuguese going, Luise?
Oh, God. Oh, dear. I've got this course, Pimsleur course. And it says only do 30 minutes a day. It's the best way to learn, and don't move on to the next lesson until you've got the current one. It took me so long just to get past lesson 1, and when I finally got it, and and I just fall asleep. It's 30 minutes, and I get to a point where I think, oh God, I'm so bored, no more. And then every time I look, it's at 20 minutes. So they say, don't they, you lose concentration in 20 minutes. And it's difficult because you can't even sort of go out shopping and think, oh, I'll practice a bit. I can't even understand English with masks on, let alone Portuguese. So it's going really slowly. Oh God, I've got the attention span of a 5-year-old. So yeah.
Same here. But it's a wonder we're managing to have a conversation at all between the pair of us. So,
I've had coffee.
Let me tell you that you're doing better than you think. I think that's true to say, because you've been living here for a few months, and you are immersed to some extent, and in the culture and everything. And we always, I think, learn more than we realize with Portuguese, and it's easy to beat ourselves up. So keep going. To that, I mean, do you do that as an approach? Have you been reading Portuguese news or listening to radio stations or watching TV? Do you ever do that? It's not your thing, is it? No. So
I have got some. No, so I've got the Pimsleur course. Then I've got a Memorize app. So if I'm in a queue or something, I just have practice. And also I've got another one. It's like music. It just says sit back and relax and listen. So that one, I'm hoping I can just put my earphones on at night and wake up in the morning speaking fluent Portuguese, So
well, let us know if that works.
Not working though.
That's an interesting language learning technique, though, isn't it? Because it has that rhythm to it that I think does help. And the guy's got quite a cool voice as well, isn't he? I can't remember. I think we had one like that, and it is quite catchy, and you find yourself kind of grooving to the I personally, Kate, I like Antena 3. There are a number of national radio stations. The local commercial ones are all full of that ding 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 ding, 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 ding that you hear in passing cars, and they talk so fast, and I think it's all commercial radio stuff. So you might end up with a very kind of different consciousness if you listen too much to that. But you'll learn where all the bargains are in the supermarkets, possibly. But Antena Tres is a really good. I mean, the music's got to suit you, hasn't it? If you listen to a music station, and they call themselves Alternativa Pop, I think, which is a bit like Six Music in the UK. You know, just not straight down the line mainstream music, a bit more interesting, old stuff, new stuff, and then the presenters will have a conversation in Portuguese, which gives you some sense of what I think you're talking about there, the immersion and the correct sounds of the language. So Antena Tres would be my suggestion for you there, Kate. This Louise, well, with these some spooky similarities here, aren't there? This Louise of Paul and Louise does not do Facebook either. Lord Julia, good for you going off social media, the best thing I've done in years. And I'd really appreciate anyone who listens to this show, because I mean, basically we use social media to make this happen. So I'm very grateful to you for going against your wishes in a way to be here, which I know you do, Louise, right? You were delighted when we went to YouTube and not Facebook, weren't you?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, actually, I can blame you as well for me being here. Oh, for being here in such a rush, because I had planned to spend the winter here house sitting. I'd had my first house sit booked, and then I was and obviously COVID hit. So I started listening to Good Morning Portugal just to, as you say, keep the pilot light alive. But it was more than a pilot light; it was like rocket fuel up my rear, because I just. And then I saw the webinar on doing it before Brexit, and I just thought, no, it's so much easier. Why? It's easy, while we're still in the EU. So I just packed a bag and got on a plane. And because of watching you guys every morning.
Fantastic. And I think it's fair to say you're glad you did. Cole knows all about Facebook bans. How very dare you, Pete? Gone are the days of the 29 quid Eurotunnel returns. Used to get all our shopping in France. That seems like a dim and distant memory, doesn't it? Booze cruises. Good to see more of us. I'm the only person in my circle who refuses to use Facebook. Yeah, well done, Hank. And Andy's trip was more expensive because of his trailer, his famous trailer with his life in it. I'm going to ask you about that, about how to dissemble one's previous life to start life in a new country, and your approach to that, whether you're a hoarder or a minimalist. We'll do that in a minute. My ferry had 10 vehicles on it, except for lorries. Amazing. And expats everywhere. Josh and Kaylee, good morning. Everyone from Josh or Kaylee or both. The cost of road tolls through France can mount up. Yeah, so quickly, before we go to minimalism or not, how much did it cost you for the
I can tell you exactly, actually. I thought someone might ask this. So I have on my piece of, so the total, it was a 84 euros total tolls in France and Spain.
Yeah, which can come as a bit of a shock if you're used to driving in a country with no tolls at all.
Well, I tell you what, though, I haven't said, have I? I absolutely love the journey. I love driving, and I knew I loved driving, but I thought, I don't know how much I'd like that journey because it's so long, but I loved every minute of it. I did it in, what did I do it in? About 36 hours with a couple of naps in between. Yeah. And I loved it. And the French motorways and the services are just, I love them.
Yeah. True. Yeah, I remember French services. Very good. So a nice road trip. Thanks for that observation, Gary. A point of order from former nurse Peggy. COVID is not behind us. Sorry, Peggy, I didn't mean to make it sound like it was done and dusted. Diligence is still required. We've been given a little chance to see if we can behave and keep numbers down. Please, everyone, mask up in public and continue to social distance. Message from Peggy there. Hola, bon dia, alegria, and the rest from Penny. More sunshine here today. Love it over there in Devon in the UK. Yeah, let's go through the questions and then come back to minimalism or not. Our shuttle was packed. Everyone present except French Border Patrol, says Pete. Thanks for all the answers on the costs, guys, from Hank in California. Good morning. That's interesting, says Wealth Creation Academy. Good morning to you. Good show yesterday, wasn't it? I am booked to come by ferry via Spain on the 9th of April. Should I cancel it and book a Eurotunnel instead? Oh, that's a tricky one. No. Things should have changed by then, shouldn't they?
Because as well, he can always change to a ferry to France with his ticket. I mean, hopefully they won't charge him.
All right, so there you go, Wealth Creation Academy. Don't know what your first name is, but maybe that's just how we should refer to you, Wealth Creation Academy. It just sounds good. It's got a great ring to it. Stick to the plan would be the advice, and you might get a different option by the time the 9th of April comes. It's not like people weren't warned for 3 years about residency thing post. All right, Doc, but it's like, it's human nature, isn't it? I think I'll do something about it now that the front door's being hammered on. Border Patrol stamp your passport coming into or leaving Portugal? I've never had that. Have you, Louise? Oh, well, you've only driven.
No, they didn't. No, but I have heard that I've heard a few people saying they've got their passport stamped when they shouldn't have.
Oh, really? What do you mean you shouldn't have? Is that what people just don't do that?
Because then when you're leaving, if you've been here for more than 90 days, they might say you was leaving via France. They might look and say, "Hang on, you've gone over the 90 days, but you haven't because you've been residents in your home in Portugal."
Oh, I've got you.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
It's so old-fashioned, doesn't it? Stamping passports. There's no need for it anymore, is there? Really? Is it possible to have the link to Louise's website and YouTube, please? So could you do you have a website as well, Louise?
No, I do, but not for 50 plus. I have for my house sitting. But if you just type in the name, I think, is my name there?
Yeah, so
it will come up.
There we go.
It will come up. If you type that into YouTube, it will come up.
We need to ask you about house sitting as well. Let's just see what people are saying and asking this morning. It is Ask Anything About Portugal. Special guest this morning, Louise, is with us, who's talking about her journey to and from the UK recently, which is a bit longer than expected and planned. But also, you might want to ask her about her experience of becoming a resident in Portugal, and whether she likes this country. I think she does. Also said, when I reach 55, I do, and I did not look back since, even with all the woes in the world. Yeah, stop it, you naysayers. Leave us alone. Own your fears and then get help from Louise. I'm in my mid-60s, a UK citizen, but lived in the USA for 30 years, says Leslie. No, they stopped the boat for the helicopter. It was another. He's not winding us up. Actually, I had to have a helicopter come and take someone off the ferry. That's not good for anyone listening who's about to take a ferry, is it? Any Portuguese children's shows like Sesame Street to learn? Yes,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, Canal Panda. Have I still got my Lion King book here? Because our lovely Donna Grassa here said to me the other day, here's a book for the kids. I said, never mind about that. Give that here, the Lion King in Portuguese. Yes, there is children's telly. Canal Panda is pretty good, and you can watch Peppa Pig in Portuguese as well. You can see that on YouTube. Most of the kids things do get dubbed into Portuguese. My favorite is Bluey, the Australian animation for kids, and when you can watch them in English and you get to know them because your kids watch them over and over again, and then when you watch it in Portuguese you've got the reference point. Same with Paw Patrol, but maybe that's just my life. Gemini, Pimsleur is a good one, and Michael Thomas. So Michael Thomas, another approach to the language there. I've enrolled with practiceportuguese.com. Yep, Joel and Rui, based out of Lisbon, €15 a month. Very good. We also have Mia Ejmeresh, who we recommend, and she's joining me next Friday. Not this coming one, but the one after. Mia will be back, everybody. I still think Pimsleur is the best of the language courses, says Susan Casola. It's nice to have these personal recommendations. We've done the Portsmouth to Santander Bilbao route for many years, for a number of years. October, November, and February are really quiet months. The ferry's not busy at all. And I mean, hopefully the economic impact hasn't been too great, and these services will return to normal. Yes, but you'll have to search on YouTube for those. They haven't been on TV for a couple of years now. That's Joel, who is a big fan of Sesame Street, and between you and me, he looks like one of the characters. I can't remember the name now, though. Sorry, Joel, you can tell us. I feel you, Louise, on Portuguese lessons. Lol, I don't know about you guys, but do you get locals being impatient with you when you can't speak the language fluently? No, I've never had that. I get that often in Lisbon. Oh yeah, I guess in Lisbon, Sophia from Weave the Story. Have you had that, Louise? Have people got impatient with you?
I haven't tried enough. I went to get tires. My tires seen to the other day because I had 2 slow punches after the journey, and I did my. I'm not going to do it here. My centre, and but he just straight away went and got a young guy that spoke English. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
often.
I don't know whether that's because I was terrible or he just thought, I can't be bothered, let me go.
Can't be doing with this right now. I've not had that. I mean, like we always say here, people do like it when you make an effort. Also, people want to practice their English. There's all sorts of things going on in the conversation, but I'm not familiar with that. I can see, in chop, busy, time is money, Lisbon, that might happen. People getting a bit impatient, but most unusual, I think, generally speaking, in Portugal. Earworms Portuguese, that's the one that sings, isn't it? Earworms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Antenna 3, that's right. And Antenna 3, the radio station, Kate, is the one that I like. Don't know that you were. Antenna 2, I believe, is the classical one. So if you like classical music, and you will have I think, a well-enunciated Portuguese person speaking between the Bach and the Beethoven, that might be, other people's preferences. So yeah, I would definitely recommend listening to the radio. One good way of learning a language is by reading children's books. Yeah, I can recommend The Lion King. And when you know the story, it makes it a little bit easier. I'm currently using Memrise and Drops. Drops is fantastic if you use the free version for 5 minutes. So literally drops from Tiffany, the little drops of Portuguese, perhaps singing songs. We must do this on the show here. I have a children's school primer that has pictures and the words. And I love it, says Jacqueline, for learning there. That's how Jacqueline likes to approach it. Jeannie King's here. Hola, bon dia. I really enjoy following Louise. There's another of your fans here.
Oh, thank you, Jeannie.
I've been binging on your older shows. Loads of great info, says Katrina. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Katrina. Appreciate it. I see things on there myself that I'd forgotten about that I think, that is interesting. Or mainly the guests. Katrina, not if you have residence. Don't know what that means, but I think they're having a conversation about moving about in and out of Portugal. I am 60, says Jeannie. Jani, I beg your pardon, and chose to live finally a life I always wanted. Not saying I wasn't happy in Belgium, but the nature of Portugal is calling me for the rest of my journey. Isn't that nice to have that calling? Ian Turner, bon dia. Best radio app is Radio Garden. Find any station based on a world map. Brilliant. There you go. More Portuguese stations for you. 84 euros is almost the same amount one would spend from Porto to Algarve just in tolls on the Portuguese highways. Yes, you can see how Joel feels about Portuguese tolls, I think. There's a great non-toll route that Google Maps actually sorts for you when you turn off tolls. Thanks, Carl. Good morning to you. Thank you for that. Paul and Louise, Spain are due to update their border information at the end of March. Suggest you contact the ferry company for their advice if restrictions are still in place. Lovely advice from one community member to another. Ireland, a stock phrase saying roughly that I'm sorry I speak only little Portuguese. So desculpe or pouco Portuguese, only a little Portuguese, but I find it a difficult language. Usually at this point they say it's okay. It's okay. I will speak English with you. Thanks, Patricia, for that. Facebook is for old people, is what it's for no people here, Maxine, but they do say that. Louise's full name, please. What is this? It sounds like another border check, doesn't it? Show us peppers.
Yeah,
You're known as Solo 50 plus Expat Portugal, aren't you? So more talk about the cost of ferries there. Good morning from Ludwig Dingeldine as well. Salamanca in July, very flat, very hot. Make sure you have a vehicle with air conditioning, because when you open a car window, it's like being blasted with a hairdryer. Happy memories there from Gary. Are you a Philomena fan, Louise?
Yes, I love yes. Now Philomena, can I give her a slap on the wrist? Because she's one of those. I've got to contact her, but I'm not on Facebook, and she only has a Facebook presence, not a website.
Oh dear.
But I do need to. Yes, I would like to contact Philomena.
Trips for Brits at gmail.com. So with the number 4, trips for Brits. But
okay.
she does deal with other nationalities as well. But trips number 4 Brits at gmail.com. So you can email her as well. Thanks, guys. I love this show. Very helpful. It's a pleasure Luise is with me, helping me this morning. Joel, not too happy about the Sesame Street reference. Carl, shut He's going to sort me out in the man cave on Friday. We came over twice on the ferry via Spain. It was lovely both times. Large cabins with comfy bed and sitting area. Last journey was to move here at the end of October. We took a picnic and plenty of wine. How lovely, Kate. So yes, this the kind of concluding journey, you know, drawing a line under your old life, starting a new one. That's the journey you've done, isn't it, Louise? How was it for you? Were you a minimalist? Were you sort of ruthlessly getting rid of stuff, or have you got stuff in store? What's the deal for you?
It's a long story because everything changed at the last minute. I've got my flat where I live, and I've got a rental property, and anyway, I packed things up. I was going to store them in the loft of the other place. Then that all changed after a conversation with my accountant. So all of a sudden, I literally had to get rid of everything. Nothing, nowhere to store anything, no furniture going to the other place. And that, so it's good. It was a good job I was stuck there for 2 months, actually, because I had to suddenly change all those plans around. Books is my hardest thing. I have brought 2 boxes of books. I just couldn't, because I can't just wander into a charity shop and buy a book and in English. So books was the main thing, and my rebounder. I'm always talking about my rebounder. I had a massive rebounder, and my sister was going to take it. She said, "I'll take it for you, and then when you sort of maybe you could bring it over. It wouldn't fit in her car." So I had to sell that one, get a folding one. That's come with me. But and my yoga mat, that was already with me. I brought that on the plane. But tools, I miss my tools. I want my tools.
Okay,
I want my tools.
DIY as well. So what? How you talk about tools? Are you talking about just that one box of the basics, or have you got some serious like routers and all this?
No, I got rid of a lot of tools, but I've just got a few electrical tools and my nice little cordless drill, which I love and everybody else loves, and some sort of like a little electric garden saw thing, and and gardening tools. But I do miss them. Sometimes I just think, I wanted to make a sort of little desk, a sort of portable desk, because I sit out in the garden and work, and I thought, I've got no tools. So I might, when I watch The Gardener, I think, I want to go. I do.
That's an interesting question for everybody here. So if you have to suddenly pack your 3 favorite things, I mean, we're hearing there, aren't we? Books, rebounder, and yoga mat for Louise. What the more unusual, the better. I mean, we brought a blooming guitar. None of us can play the guitar, but Mrs. M just wouldn't get rid of it. It's still here and haunting me. Every house move I've done, that stupid guitar gets carried around like she's going to learn to play it one day, or thinks I will, or something like that. And we had a water filter, a guitar. Not because we don't trust Portuguese water. Let me tell you, it's more of a general mistrust of tap water the world over. So Mrs. M likes a big stack water filter, a guitar, and I brought tools. I made sure I brought some tools. But I noticed a cynical move in Lidl at the moment. They seem to be aiming tools at women. Have you seen all those purple shaped?
No, oh God's sake, yeah.
I saw you look skyward there. I mean, there's no need for that, is it? I think that's what they're doing. There's this sort of sexy range of tools now. That, I quite like a lilac myself, so I might get myself a nice lilac drill next time you can't walk past the middle aisle. Okay, Peggy, I never had trouble if you smile and ask them to help you. So no pushiness down in the Algarve. In my local bar, the owner says, "Speak English. The queue for service is getting longer." That's great. Nice and direct. That's very Portuguese. I think Portuguese people would just be straight with you. It won't be rude. It will just be like, let's do it. Come on, let's do English, because look at the queue behind you. And no harm meant, nothing personal. Peggy, I can't imagine with your effervescent personality, you would have problems anywhere. What a charmer is Mr. Bleach. Yesterday, I took half an hour to understand someone who was describing a pomegranate, but it was worth sticking with. Yeah. Nice payoff there. Good morning, Carl. Bon dia from Emma. Hello, Emma. How are you doing? You may well remember the Belters and their incredible performance on the show a few weeks back. Hope you're well. And Josh as well. Love that you are authentic and just put it all out there in your videos. I can relate a lot about being the same age and having traveled solo to 36 countries. Maybe a guest interview there. Hope to move to Portugal soon and meet all.
Yeah.
So too, Doreen. Good morning, Carl. Long time. Yes, where you been, Mag? Busy with planting and chickens now, also with patients. So you're building a practice as a I think a health practitioner, Mag, here in Portugal. That'll be interesting to talk to you about. 20 to 22 degrees and beautiful sun. So happy for the spring. So many of us are, Mag. Great to have you here this morning. Muhammad Wahab. Good morning, everyone. My question is about telecom jobs. Are there any websites or references I'm looking for? I don't know what that is, what kind of job that is, but a telecom job. Have you looked for work here, Luise? Do you know anything about that, or are you thoroughly self-employed?
No.
Look for work. Okay.
I just do everything online.
All right. So we are in Ask Anything About Portugal. If someone can help Mohammed with that, do join our forum as well at expatsportugal.com. That's a great question for the forum, Mohammed, which is what I always say if I can't answer it live on the show. Senor Francis, across the road from me, speaks no English at all, but we still have a bit of a laugh, mostly at my Portuguese. But he and his wife are very nice to us. Can't wait to take him up on his constant invites for Vinha. I bet, Gary. Yes, there you go. There's a lovely vignette, a Vinha vignette of Portuguese life. Lots of lovely comments. Thanks, everyone. Ludwig, there are two kinds of Portuguese languages. The one you speak with people on the street or and the second one for paperwork, lawyers. That's a very good, lawyers and architects. That's a very good observation, Ludwig. It is so different. I love your laugh so much. Oh, thank you. It makes me wheezy, though, when people get on here and make me laugh too much, Emma. Bon dia, todos. Unless she's talking to you, could be talking to you there, Louise. We've having a giggle this morning. Bon dia to you, Leslie Taylor. Grumpy Grover. Yes, that's the Sesame Street character we're talking about. That's not going to help, though, Gary. I've had the same frustration with the lack of websites. Natives have told me it's because many think they can't afford to build and maintain a website. As a result, I can't leave Facebook. Going back to your Facebook comment, one page website.
Oh, it's so easy. I'll build you a website if you want one.
Oh, there you go. There's an offer. That's fantastic. I'm watching this on Facebook. Does that make me a dinosaur? Yes. Sorry, Penny. No, of course not. Well, it is funny how younger folks do say, Facebook, that's for old people. You want to be on Instagram. I tried. I don't know how to put this show out on Instagram. I see myself as one of the oldest, if I am an influencer, like one of the oldest influencers in the YouTube ecosystem. A what? A rebounder? What is that?
It's like a mini trampoline. It's a little trampoline. Look it up. Amazing health benefits. Just look up the benefits of rebounding. Yeah, brilliant.
A bit of a bounce in the morning. Great way to start the day. I found Carl and Good Morning Portugal on another YouTube. Now I found Louise and Solar 50 Plus. My world is expanding. Excellent. Morning, Carl. Happy to announce, tell your listeners I have a new remit. This will be helping and supporting people who are terminally ill in Portugal. So sharing care. You'll have seen Debbie on the show. So they're extending their help to people who might find themselves in that awful position there. But help is at hand. Thanks to Debbie and her team. Thanks for letting us know that. Debbie, appreciate it. Beverly Maidman, bon dia, been worrying about all the import taxes if you bring anything from the UK when you move. Also buying stuff online when in Portugal. Seems the taxes are off the wall. Can anyone help or point me in the right direction for advice? Tell us more, Louise, on that.
So I, before January the 1st, I got a quote from a removal company to bring some stuff over.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get an idea, so I gave them a list. It's like a bike, a double, king size bed and mattress, some boxes and some cases. Anyway, they gave me a really good quote. They said they wasn't sure what would happen after Brexit, but it's still really reasonable. It would be, because I don't know if I think I mentioned before, my bed in IKEA, if I wanted to, it's £300 in the UK. It's double that it's over €600 in the Lisbon IKEA. So it would be cheaper for me to use that company. So obviously post Brexit, the price changed, but it was swings and roundabouts because they no longer have to pay VAT, but you have to pay customs on your own secondhand good, but it's not much. So what I lost in VAT, I gained in the customs, and the quote stayed about the same. Okay. So, and it's really reasonable.
Good to know. Good to
So,
know. That is a really good little life hack there. If it's cheaper to have it driven over from a British IKEA than it is to buy it in Lisbon, I mean that tells you something about the craziness of the world, but still an economic saving there. I wonder why that is. I mean, maybe they just don't import as much stuff into Portugal, and the price is reflected in that. Kent's here. Popped in to say bon dia live. Usually watch later in the day. Good evening to you. Yes. Where are you? Yes, you're early in the morning, very early, or late at night, wherever you are, Kent, in the States. Let us know what time it is for you, unless if you haven't gone to bed already. Louise, try the gypsy markets for tools. Yeah, the street markets are good for tools as well as Lidl. Oh my God, books, 3 cases to go and fetch. So he's still not done. We heard about his epic journey.
God, yeah.
He's still going to be taking his trailer
There's
back.
more.
Oh dear. Even if I speak Portuguese, I can take some time understanding things around it. Yeah, allow yourself that, Mag, obviously. People speak very fast. We've decoded that thing in Lidl. Vamos abrir a caixa dois is what they're saying. You know, we're about to open cashier number 2. I'm so glad to have cracked that with Philomena the other day. Buying new tools is a great joy in life. Still are a lot cheaper in Portugal than in UK. So there you go for your chainsaws and so on. That's good to know. Yes, that's because of all the sort of rural tradition, I would have thought, with chainsaws and so on, and those kind of power tools. Pete, that's good to know. Thank you very much. For Leslie, it's just a hammer and a screwdriver. Portuguese people say this: with a hammer and a screwdriver, you can do almost anything. Why am I not Louise's garden? What does that mean? Oh, gardener. Why is he not your gardener? Do we know the answer to that?
Don't know. I haven't got a garden of my own. So
Well, there's your answer, Lee. Anyone know what permissions are required to have movers bring all the rest of our stuff over from London? Same. We can refer you, Kate, to that earlier answer, I think, can't we? Did you know the name of that firm?
It's Algarve Removals. So I haven't actually used them. I've had the quote, but yeah, I mean, I heard from someone else that they're really good that had used them. They said they were expensive, but the quote, I thought they'd missed a zero off the quote.
Is that good? Excellent.
Yeah.
So there you go, Kate. And I think it is a changing picture as well. You know, people are trying to catch up with all of this, aren't they? So there might be shocks and surprises. Some pleasant, some not so. Purple tools, interesting. Yeah, it looks like a load of aubergines lying there, Gary. But it's a load of tools, I think, aimed at the female market. Bon dia, Kent from Andy. Yeah, our pal Kent from the Man Cave. Bon dia, everyone from Peter Robinson. Books and tools. I brought about 10 boxes of books. I'm an archaeologist who publishes papers and CDs over when I moved. And I've bought a few tools from local Leroy Merlin store. But I want to bring over another 20 boxes of books and a load of my late dad's woodworking tools for someday. Yeah, these are the difficult attachments, aren't they? That people have to their books and their tools. So we're really feeling that this morning. Carry on. Carry on, little hammer. It always my favorite toy. So you had a what is it? Was this like a Carry On film, official merchandise? Maybe Michael and a little hammer that did everything. Maybe it's the little hammer where you unscrew bits of it and like a Swiss Army knife. Mayo says Jacqueline. I think that's for telecom jobs, possibly. Where are the best forests found in Portugal? Can you answer that one yet, Louise?
No, I haven't done that much exploring. But I don't know.
Say Central Portugal, you know, and the forested areas of the Serra da Estrela, but also down Alentejo and Algarve. You're never far from a forest. We're going to get some interesting answers to that, I'm sure. But there are beautiful forests and river beaches, of course, Jean van der Beek. You're never going to be far away from them, is what I'd say. Go on, Louise.
Can I just say, Jacqueline's on here. She's said a lovely comment, you know, about me, but Jacqueline as well. I mean, she offers a lovely thing. So she's obviously been in Portugal a long time, and is on her own, you know, after becoming a widow. But she offers. She's really interested in helping solo women who are coming to Portugal and giving them a place to stay, just to sort of find their feet. And she's got a lovely place. She's got a lovely heart. And she, you know, she said kind words about me, but she offers that as well. And she's got a load of experience on buying property and renovating as well.
Yeah.
So, and she's always happy to pass that knowledge on and teach people, you know, let people know the Portuguese ways of doing things. so they don't come unstuck. So full of tips and knowledge and information.
Yep, absolutely.
So
She is our Donna Jacqueline, isn't she? Our expat elder, so full of love and knowledge. So yes, absolutely right. Second that completely, Louise. Good morning to you, Jacqueline. And this is controversial. John, anywhere north of the Tagus? Come on, the dock. What about the Arabida National Park, where the scene from On Her Majesty's Secret Service with an E-Type, I think, was filmed? There's loads of great forests down in around Monchique as well, Alentejo, Algarve. Come on, Doc. He's just being northern about this and central, I think. All over Portugal would be my answer. But fair play, Doc. I hope to join you for the wine club later, Andy. That'll be tomorrow, as long as work does. You can't let work get in the way. That's one thing we know here in our community. Work should not get in the way. That's something you learn in it after 45. You probably wished you hadn't let that happen. Peter, I think there's an opportunity for building websites. I can do them too. So there we go. We've launched a business this morning.
No excuse. No excuse.
There you go. I'm on Instagram too. You need to do a live, Carl. I know that, Penny, but it's how to do a live. It's sounding like, a teenager there, Penny, saying that you need to do a live, Carl. Like, yeah, really? What? How do I do that? Yikes! I'm up early. Says Kent. I am up early, not late. Never really sure. I get a bit dyscalculic when I'm trying to work out time zones, and same when the clocks go forward and back. Even after all these years, I very rarely get it right. Bondi, and I've an apology for Antonio F. In my haste yesterday, when I was putting up bacalhau, what to do with the bacalhau water, and not Frank versus the Francesinha, but Frank's love affair with the Francesinha. I spelt it all wrong, so thank you for pointing that, Antonio. It's all done now. Have you got any hills? Says Michael Boys. I really like trekking. Yes, we've got the Serra de Estrela mountains. We've got mountains, not just hills here, Michael. And that's where you'll get the snow in Portugal as well. Not many people realise you get snow in Portugal too. You like to get out and walk and hike, don't you?
I can't wait. Yeah, I do. I love to. I used to live in Wales and would hike the Brecon Beacons every weekend. I can't wait to get out hiking.
Yeah, and have you got anywhere in mind? What's on
no,
your list?
I haven't looked. I've some of the. Well, I was looking. Another thing I want to do is cycling. So I was looking at the cycle paths that go all along the coast. I mean, I could walk them or cycle them, but not yet. Obviously, I want to go up the mountain. I can't remember what it's called, but the highest point where you've got actually got a little ski resort. With ski lifts and everything.
Yeah.
So I'd like to trek up there, but yeah. Anywhere. Yeah. I love walking. I can walk all day.
Yes, we do have a ski resort in Portugal. Again, little known. So there you go. This question for Ian Turner: does anyone have NHL residency and spend 4 to 5 months back in their original country, thinking of applying, but have grandkids in the UK? That's our webinar tomorrow night. As it turns out there. So let me just give you a little bit more detail on that. It's find out about the recent NHR changes. As I always say, premium members who support us and help us with the €47 a year. This is €47 a year. I think it's pretty good value. Lots of benefits, including being ushered to the front of the queue and VIP treatment for the webinars. What everyone needs to know about the recent changes in Portugal's NHR tax regime tomorrow evening with our friend Daniel Reyes from Reyes and Pelicano, the boutique lawyers in Lisbon. So tomorrow from 7:30 to 9, but you must book that. Okay, Ian, I hope that helps. Pete says, important to remember, you must get your baggage from the Portuguese embassy. Baggage form. Sorry, not your baggage. Don't go and claim your baggage from the embassy. Your baggage form from the Portuguese embassy. Some removal companies are charging a lot more than others. Check around. Good advice. Ian, I'm calling HMRC soon about that. That's about the NHR thing. So you guys maybe have a chat about that. Big tip, get a quote months ahead for house movements. They keep coming back with lower prices. Oh, that's good. Okay, so the more business-like ones will ring you up and say, okay, we'll do it for 100 less or whatever. That's good to know, Paul. Good tip. What if you bring it over? What about if you bring it over yourself? Oh, so if you bring in your stuff, are you going to get hit up for a load of import duty? You wouldn't do on your own.
Castle. No.
Yeah, and what? No sort of penetrating questions about that. Like what's in here?
No, all they did, they opened the boot and I had what was clearly a cool bag, but actually didn't have food in it. It just had kitchen stuff in it, and they wanted to see that. obviously checking, because you can't. I wanted to bring my plant. I've got a lovely orchard, but you can't bring things like live plants in now because we're not EU. You can't.
Seriously?
Certain things you can't. Yeah. Yeah, to look up. So anything sort of fresh, you can't bring over because we're not part of the EU now. But no, they wanted to. Oh, they wanted to look in that. Sorry, I just got a notice that my battery's running low.
Okay.
Yeah, but apart from that, they put the call bag through, like the airport X-ray thing, and saw that I had a knife there. And questioning the knife, but because it was with food items, it was okay. But yeah, no, apart from that, I think it's food, because you're not allowed to bring in. You can bring in frozen meat, but not fresh meat.
Obviously.
Not that I was bringing in meat, but that sort of thing.
Okay, it's bizarre,
Yeah.
isn't it? And there's probably a very good reason of it, but it escapes me right now what that might be. So there you go, Beverly. Hope that helps. 2:55. What you like, Hank? He's like a bundle of energy as well, even at 2:55 in the morning in California. Michael Boys. Overall, Portugal is hilly. The southern part from Lisbon to Algarve tends to be plains. So there you go. For you, Michael. Thanks for that, Joel. I tried to buy stuff from Amazon Ireland to avoid UK Brexit mess. Yeah, and Germany as well. Amazon Germany, you can use the doc I'm doing Journey to later in the year for his bookcases. I think Facebook is not so bad if you use it sensibly. All things in moderation and balance, eh? I don't think it's about that really. It's more about the privacy thing, isn't it, for a lot of people now? Bon dia from London, from Maxine. Good morning, Maxine. Thanks to the doc from Ian. I'd like to open a conversation about dogs in Portugal. Of course, concern for my little dogs, my little guys, reading conflicting comments, pet friendly, allowed in cafes or not, and the word of wild dogs roaming. Are there any rescue groups to rehome such? You'll have looked at this, Louise. What do you think? Would you bring a dog to Portugal?
Well, if I had a dog and it was part of my family, I definitely would, because you can't just like.
Or would you be worried about it?
No. I mean the roaming dogs, because obviously I spent a lot of time walking a couple of dogs while I was here, and the roaming dogs, there are lots of it. Not, if you're used to England, you don't get dogs just wandering around. It's so sweet. They just wander out in the morning, go for a little stroll, and wander back home. But I don't know. I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah.
There is and there's rescue centres. There's a big one in Central Portugal, one run by a British guy. They need to find homes for their dogs. They've got a YouTube channel. Can't remember what it's called now, but yeah, I mean, bring your dog. I think it's better. I like it because it's more. In the UK, it's put your dog on a lead, whereas here you can just have them wandering around.
Yes, and I think if you're taking I've been with a couple who took their St. Bernard to a cafe, and it was okay. But I mean, lap dogs, little, your little dog in your little Chihuahua in your Chanel handbag, no problem. People, I don't know if that's you, Susan, but people do that here. It is a pet-friendly country. There's no doubt about it, and the law seems to be that landlords aren't meant to prejudice against you if you've got pets. So whenever I've said to landlords here, can I bring my dog? It's like, yeah, why wouldn't you? There's no, obviously they might ask for a bit more of a wear and tear deposit or something like that, but I don't think you can turn someone away because they've got pets. So it's different. It's different here, how people treat dogs, how people are with dogs, but certainly bringing your own pets, I can't see any problem with that. I don't know who's been naysaying you about that. Good idea here from Gary. We need to start book exchanges. There you go.
Yeah, I know. I thought of that. In the UK, you get the old phone boxes and people make them into little street libraries. I was thinking, we need something like that here.
Yeah.
Which is definitely, I've thought of that.
Yep, there you go. So you can swap some archaeological papers with a second-hand yoga book, maybe. Who knows? You'll broaden our horizons. Not sure what you mean here, Maxine. You might have to explain a bit more. US, New Jersey. The majority of my belongings, I'm bringing over books. Yep. A lot of bookish people here. It's just not the same, is it? Getting it on Kindle or having it on Audible. we do like our books, don't we? I'm not a massive reader, and I don't have many books, but I did definitely bring some of my favorites with me. Ones given to me, they're the ones, aren't they? Not just the book, but a sentimental attachment. Very difficult. Stick everything in a trailer and drive through a back roads border crossing. Doc, what are you like? We can't share that sort of advice here. Allegedly or whatever, or one of our viewers is saying, I can't put my name to that. Any woman who actually uses tools, thinks purple tools are ridiculous. Yeah, I'm not supporting it necessarily, although I wouldn't mind a purple tool myself. Oh dear. Gary, stop it. But I just thought it was some sort of cynical marketing. You know how these things happen. I mean, they're selling, Duff beer in Lidl, and they were selling Lidl merchandise. It's not a big step to go to purple tools in there. Carol Bardo, we have just used Algarve removals. Absolutely.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, helpful people. Thanks, Carol, for that recommendation. Peter Bleach, Algarve removals have just put their prices up massively since Brexit. Matthew James, not cheaper. Oh, controversy. Check with both. But Joel saying to Jean van der Beek about hilly areas and mountains, definitely up north and around Serra da Estrela. Of course, you must go there. To the Serra da Estrela if you're coming to Portugal. That's got to be part of what you do. And even in the Antonio F, even in the Algarve, you can find mountains. We drove looking for this beautiful scenic viewing point and found the most amazing mountain in the northern Algarve. It was incredible. Nobody there. This incredible view. Saw my first oil beetle, which is a terrifying thing. Made a little video up there. You see just right across the plains. It's all over Portugal. You're going to be fine, Jean van der Beek. Large percentage of Portugal is forest. There you go. He was talking about forest, wasn't he? Penny Albertello, I used to think that other nationalities spoke quickly until I started to work as an international coach and leadership trainer many years ago. I was told we speak English too fast and to understand. Too fast to understand, and I learned to slow down. Interesting. What I can say, I always was a northerner in the UK and here. It's a state of mind, isn't it? Debbie Dews, can I have Louise's email, please? Do you give your email out, or do you prefer messages through your YouTube channel, Louise?
You can have. You can. I've got to work out a way of. This YouTube thing all grew so fast. Work out a way of communicating with people. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an email address on the YouTube channel. If you go to the About section, I'm going to do an Instagram so I can, communicate with people through direct messaging and an email. So I'll put it up there.
There you go. If you see on the screen there, that's what you're looking for, Debbie. Solo 50 plus Expat Portugal. We'll conclude fairly soon. Everyone's been very sort of leisurely and giving this morning, haven't they? It's been great to have you here, Louise. Don't let work get in the way. Combine work with passion. You see, we were talking about Donna Jacqueline before, weren't we? And an excellent nugget of wisdom there. Don't let work get in the way. Combine work with passion if you possibly can. You younguns. I'm with Peter. I have dozens of boxes of books, and I missed them. Also, art for the walls. I seem to recall Hal saying that we need to get baggage tickets if bringing possessions from third countries. Baggage tickets, is that the thing that Pete was talking about? The embassy forms, there probably is. Bon dia from Maria Santos. Good morning to you. Love the Breckons. Going back to what you're saying there, used to wild camp there, says the doc. Everyone, take a look at the events section of the Wine Club site for heads up on what is coming so you can join us. Yeah, Good Morning Portugal Food and Wine Club on Facebook, unfortunately. Doreen Reyes, I'm up late. It's 6 a.m. in the US, and since we moved the clocks ahead already, I stay up until 5 a.m. versus 4 now to watch you live. Bless you, Doreen.
Wow.
It's Oscar the Grouch. Grover is friendly. Oh, dear. Okay, loads of comments. Thanks, everybody. Louise, are you living in Central Portugal? How did you choose the area? That's a good question. Let's do that.
I don't choose anything. I've just been going along on a wave of fortunate, unfortunate events. So I am in Central Portugal on the Silver Coast, and I didn't choose the area. I just this isn't where I'll be forever. This is just where I am for now. I still to find my happy place in Portugal, my place.
You're forever home.
The only thing I did do was choose Central Portugal. I knew I wanted to be in Central Portugal, but I'm a bit worried now because I was listening to Peggy, not Peggy, Penny, Prosecco Penny, yeah.
Peggy,
And
yeah.
how she ended, it is Peggy, yeah. She
Yeah.
ended up in the Algarve, but she firmly had chosen sort of Porto
Braga,
area,
Braga,
and ended up down south by, you know, so who knows? I might have thought Central Portugal's it and then end up somewhere completely different.
it's
I've
possible.
heard a few people say that. So you think really set on an area and then just end up somewhere where they had no intention to. So
Yeah, life has other plans for you sometimes, doesn't it? But you know, that's the thing. It's not like you're going to end up anywhere terrible, I don't think here. You know, it's all good, as they say, as the young uns say. We wish we'd brought more with us. Talking of minimalism
wow.
and hoarding, that's interesting.
Tell us more, Pete.
The dogs involved in Portugal get all together late at night and run around a village. They're more sociable than most people around. That's funny when you see that, isn't it? A gang of dogs going out and about, causing chaos. Ludwig says there, yes, that is okay until they poop outside your front door. Our street is now called Poop Alley. That's not such a great aspect of life.
Yeah, that is one thing I do notice. They don't pick up here, do they?
Yeah.
They don't.
There you go. Lynn's suffering from that. Sorry, Lynn. They have been implemented laws to protect pets from being abandoned, but it still happens here. Nonetheless, there is a rescue group called the IRA that rescue mistreated animals from owners. Thanks for that, Joel. Jani, if they say if you don't have a dog and move to Portugal, a dog will find you. Yeah, and cats as well. And, you know, where I am, sheep too. Again, Gary, stop it. Yes, on the book exchange. So, okay, let's do that on the expatsportugal.com forum. You know, let's get a book thread going there. And it's just a simple matter of sticking them in the post. I say simple. Or a meetup, isn't it, to swap books? You know,
yeah, meetup, book swap. Yeah.
Yep. The EU rules on food are phytosanitary laws. I knew it. They're those pesky phytosanitary laws. They are there to protect consumers, and ironically, were largely written by the UK EU Commission staff back when we were members. There will be so many similar ironies, I suspect, to be revealed. Kate, thank you for that. Villanova de Milfonche has a little pillar box library to swap books. There you go.
Oh.
Good morning to you, Shelley, and thank you for that. There are usually local pet shelters. They're usually full, and diseases between animals are constant, even when they're well treated. Oh, so there you go. You can get yourself a dog when you come here if you're not bringing one with you. This is not a good country for having dogs, says Maxine. They're not allowed in most places, and there are feral groups running around that can attack your pooch. So that's the view you're afraid of, Susan. There. I can see how that might happen, but it's not been my experience, Maxine, but I can see how that could occur. You can have any of my archaeological papers anytime. Just let me know. Most of them are about ancient Egyptian afterlife texts. That is my favorite subject when it comes to archaeological papers, Peter. Well, let's talk. Regarding dogs, landlords might refuse dog owners to avoid conflicts among neighbours, says Antonio F. Dogs barking. If it's a house guest, there's no problem. Also, some cafes have signs refusing the entry of dogs. I mean, that's fair enough, isn't it? You can sit outside. Heidi Dazelle in Coimbra started an English swap library and is now moving to Lisbon and wants someone to take it over. There we go. A ready-made English book swap library. Brilliant, Shelley. And so that's Heidi there wants someone to take it over in Coimbra. If somebody is interested in doing that, I think we may well be. A dog poop with accompanying emoticon emoji is a big thing, especially if it's a St. Bernard. Mon Chic is beautiful, says the doc. Absolutely. And that's where you can get your alkaline water. In most bottled waters are acidic, aren't they? Tend to be. I think it's a 9.4 pH. The Mon Chic water in its beautiful purple bottle, like the tools. Go to the cafe with Satan the Rottweiler, and when asked where does he sit, reply anywhere he likes. True. Oil beetle, yeah, it's a scary kind of a shiny black thing, like if I'm right, like a bit like a massive centipede. That well, if you're having a picnic, it can be a bit disturbing as it moves its way towards your foot or something, or crawls over your hand as you're taking in the view. I so hope the Sunlight Protect Act passes so we can do away with. Yes, how long have people been talking about doing away with daylight saving time? As long as I can remember, but still. Nothing happens. A walking group would be good, says Beverly. Where do I find that? Again, yeah, stick that on our forum. If you're looking for walking partners, be a good place to start. We might live on the same street. Leslie. with the dog poop problem there. That's him, Oscar the big Portuguese bear. Is laughing Gary at Joel's expense there. Doreen, as Buddha said, if you want to make God laugh, plan. So true, right, Louise?
Yep,
Yep.
definitely.
We have lots of lovely walking trails in the hills above the beach south of Nazaré. Gorgeous views, says Kate. Nice tip there. Portugal.
Oh, I'm not far from there to go.
Yes, you must. It's really beautiful up there. Portugal dog owners are deaf. They never hear their dogs barking. It's a cultural thing. People don't hear dog barking here in the same way that would annoy and curtain twitch in England. Are you familiar with that, Louise?
What, barking dogs?
Yeah, it's just part of Portuguese life, isn't it? And Portuguese are used to it, I think.
Yeah, they just, yeah.
You grow up with it. It's there in the background. It's like living next to a motorway or an airport. Obrigado, Louise. Your example will help a lot of single people to follow their heart, says Shani. And a final comment. I suspect one is likely to want my economics. I suspect one, and that might be no one, is likely to want my economics books, but similarly inclined nerdy folk. It's going to be an interesting meetup, isn't it, when people bring their books? I meant no one. Yes, we do. I gathered that, Kate. But the conversation is ongoing about world, globalized economic policy, the EU, etc. So even if I don't read your books, we still want to be having that lively conversation over a coffee and nata soon. If a dog barks and the owner doesn't listen, it's because the owner barks louder than the dog. Maybe that's an old Portuguese saying there from Joel. Thanks for that. One quick thing before you go, one more thing, as Colombo would say. You mentioned house sitting. Is that a good thing, a good way of coming and learning about Portugal, would you say?
It's a good way of coming and learning about anywhere. It's brilliant because I'm not a traveller. I don't want to be travelling. Slow travel, I like experiencing a place. I don't want to just pass through. I don't want to see all the touristy things. I want to experience living in a place. And house sitting is brilliant because, some places you get, you literally get to step into the homeowner's life, and now, their friends come included. I'll go dog walking with their friends. You literally just step into their life for a few weeks if you want to, or if you want to be a bit more, if you're a bit more introvert and you don't want to. But it's brilliant because you get to properly experience a place, not just like a passing tourist, and you get to experience. It's literally, you get to have a go at people's lives, and then you get all the lovely animals as well. That just lovely.
Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it. Slow travel. Like I was saying yesterday, come to Portugal for a month if you can. You're not going to get a sense of it on a city break. You'll have a lovely time, even if you do come for 3 days, fly in, fly out, Porto, Lisboa, vice versa. But to really experience this place or anywhere, as Louise is saying there, the slow travel has to be the way forward, doesn't it? Okay, so just wrapping up then. A great show today. Thanks, Carl and Louise, from Paul and Louise. Thanks for a lovely show. What a fabulous woman you are, Louise.
Thank you.
Nice. If I hadn't met Leona, I would have house sat with Airbnb for the gaps. Yeah, it is a good method of, and there are opportunities for sure. Another high quality show. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Hank.
Thank you, Hank.
Yeah, appreciate you being here at your time of day. Your house sitting website, please, Louise. We will need somebody. Oh, so Gianni is providing. What have we got then? House sitting wise, what are the websites, Louise, for that? Do you know them off the top of your head?
There's everybody's got their different ones which they say is great. But for me, one of the biggest is Trusted House Sitters.
Yeah.
And but then a lot of people don't like them because they are big. I like them because they've got the variety. They're worldwide. Saying that, it depends on where you want to house sit. So some sites are better for different areas. So some sites are better for Australia. Some sites are better for Europe. So, but Trusted House Sitters is worldwide. It's the biggest. It's a good one to get started with, I'd say. And mine is just, I can send it to you, my website. It's just Louise. It's just my name, louiseellen.co.uk.
Oh, so you've got your own house sitting website
it's not what it is. It's not for people to. I don't have it so that people can search for house sitting and find it. It's just that if someone, because sometimes I do it word of mouth and not through trusted house sitters, so I could just say to people, "I'll have a look at my website, my reference," because you have feedback on trusted house sitters and references, but obviously if you don't belong to that site, then you can't see them. So I just say to people, I'll go and look at my website, my references and reviews are on there, and just so
excellent. There you go. Great show from Popo and Katrina as well. Great show. Thanks everybody. There is a walking group. Maxine, this just in. There is a walking group. Look for IWP, International Women of Portugal, and Cascais. That's a nice tip. Thank you, and have a great day from Ludwig and Susan. Finally, so I don't have to worry about eviction if my little yak is out while I'm out. I mean that could become a problem, but certainly you hear that a lot. You do hear people's dogs barking and yapping in a way that would drive some people nuts, but it happens here. Still would prefer a small rural house with a fenced yard. That sounds lovely. Thanks, guys, from Leslie. I'll be checking your channel ASAP, Louise. Have a lovely day. Right back at you, Leslie. Louise, thank you so much.
That's okay. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's been an epic effort. 90 minutes almost of you sharing your insight and information and knowledge here. So thank you so much for doing that. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
We'll see you all soon. So tomorrow is a big day. Obviously, we are talking to Anna Caramujo of Savvy Cat, a realty. She's really a very inspiring person, talking about the best places to live and rent in Portugal. So don't miss that. And the wine tasting in the evening at 9. But before that, the webinar on the NHR. Busy day tomorrow on Expats Portugal. Good Morning Portugal. Take care and bye for now. Thanks again, Louise.
Thanks.